And now, to build on to Ms. Yagboer's keynote, our next speaker will elaborate more on harnessing innovation for healthier buildings. Now, during his session, he will share how Axo Nobel is aiming to limit negative environmental impact whilst contributing towards urbanization through the development and evolution of paints and coatings. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome the Managing Director, Decorative Paints, Southeast and South Asia, Axo Nobel, Mr. Oscar Weizenbeck.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Let's take the challenge that Ms. Kamboa so well pronounced just now. And indeed, my topic for today is harnessing innovation for healthier buildings. And obviously, as has been well explained over these last days or so, is that our world is changing at a frantic pace every day. And we can see the impact and the cost it has on our communities, on our environment. So what can we do to have impact and to do something about it? Now, representing, as Ms. Gamboa said, a big multinational company, so how do we take up the challenge and what role do we have to play in that section? I'm going to talk all about specifics, innovations, but I would like to emphasize that as I'm going to emphasize a lot about specific things we can do, even as a paint and coatings company, innovation really starts here, in our minds, in our conviction of wanting to do what is right, as well for all the stakeholders that we've been talking about. Now, you've seen already these days, I'm not going to elaborate too much about it, the challenge that we are facing. And as a leading paint and coatings company, this is the world we play in. And at first we thought with COVID happening that we would actually see somewhat of a reversal of this trend, that actually people will be moving out of the metropolitan areas, reconnect with nature, all the challenges we will be facing with. But despite the pandemic, what we actually see that we're still on track to grow by another 2.2 billion people in 2050 that are going to live in urban areas. So what does it mean? More new buildings are being constructed, while the capacity for existing buildings need to be adapted to cope with the demand on resources. Resources such as lighting, heating, cooling of buildings, responsible almost for a third, no less, of global carbon emissions. So, why does this interest a company like ours? Well, we're a major supplier of sustainable paints and coating solutions to the construction companies. And that means that we can make a contribution to the ongoing transformation of the building environment, which aims to reduce the carbon footprint of buildings and make them a healthier place to live and work. And personally, this is close to my heart. My son actually is graduating from architecture next couple of weeks in Edinburgh, so he's also imploring on me, Daddy, you have to do something about this. And also telling me that all this building, all this concrete there, actually, if you do it properly, you maintain it properly, you design it properly, they can last much better, much longer, and create a livable environment. So the peer pressure is also coming from within the family. So why does paint matter? What can we do about it? Well, when I started in paint and coatings about 30 plus years ago, yes, I'm older than you think, is that it was something that just added color to your house. And that was basically it. But paint has evolved a lot, and it's gone a long way beyond the boundaries of the service it has been applied to. And we're constantly innovating. And let me give you a couple of snapshots what we're specifically going to do and some of the exciting launches we just done here also in Singapore. Now, finding new ways to develop more durable and resource-efficient paints that protect buildings and help construction materials to last longer. But not just that. Buildings actually can help to keep your buildings cooler or actually clean the indoor air, something which nobody really thought of, that we can add active components to the paint that can purify the air. I'm going to talk about that as well. So sustainable solutions do play a valuable role in helping green buildings to meet the key criteria, and I'm going to talk a bit specifically which criteria they are. But specifically in reducing carbon emissions from the building environment, preserving the precious natural resources, and improving the quality of life for people who live and work in them. So what is the approach that we took in this area of all these dimensions I touched upon? When it comes to sustainability, AkzoNobel has identified 3 global topics that we focus on: climate change, circularity, and health and well-being. And let me explain a bit more how we focus in this presentation on these areas. And we set ourselves obviously specific targets. 50% carbon reduction in our own operations and across the value chain. Now that's a big challenge. So if we look at our value chain, like what Ms. Gamboa talked about, in our particular case, 2% of the carbon emissions emitted in the paint and coatings value chain are actually in our own operations. 98% of it is actually through either the suppliers or the consumers or the application and the end-of-life process. So making that commitment, that Scope 3 commitment, is quite significant. We've committed already in 2017 to become a carbon neutral company by 2015. And we're turning this ambition into reality by setting scientific, science-based targets aligned with the 1.5-degree pathway that was also mentioned before. To achieve at least 50% of our revenue from sustainable solutions utilizing our SPPA, our Sustainable Product Portfolio Assessment Framework. And we're well on track with already more than 44% of our revenue focused on these sustainable solutions. Obviously, 100% circular use of materials in our own operations, driven by the reduction, reuse, and recycling of materials. And we want to reach out to communities in which we operate. I'm going to talk about it as well. And we set ourselves a target that at least we want to touch and improve the lives of 100,000 people in our communities through the AkzoNobel Cares program. And also elaborating and referring to the earlier presentation, we've identified the 5 key United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to which we want to focus most of our attention. Looking a bit at product innovation, then it plays a vital role, obviously, in making cities and communities more sustainable. Whether it's in the design, construction, or operation, green, healthy buildings reduce or eliminate negative impacts and can have positive impact on our climate and natural environment. So let's focus again on a couple of these areas. In climate change, we obviously focus on developing products to help reduce the use of energy. I already mentioned about keep cool technology so that you can really lower your air conditioning in Singapore, very relevant, with up to 5 degrees and still have the same level of comfort in your home. And that of course helps to reduce the product's carbon footprints. Circularity, absolutely vital for us, using renewable materials in decorative interior wall paints, metal coatings, liquid protective wood and coal coatings. So we develop durable products that protect surfaces for longer. And this helps customers to reduce cost, save resources, prolong maintenance cycles, and keep things more colorful and brighter as we go along. And that is really something that resonates with consumers and is relatively low-hanging fruit to make that effort. Now, health and well-being is a key and growing emerging area for us. So focusing on solutions that can bring health advantages to consumers, such as helping to improve indoor air quality, that is vital. And we have launched bio-based products that do exactly that. Now, if we go to climate change more specifically, in this Green Building Council we talk, of course, a lot about the construction area. But if you realize that as a paint and coatings company that 98% of the carbon emissions in the value chain are actually caused from agents outside of our direct control, it's very important for us to find partners. And that's the key impact that we now do, to have that conversation with key suppliers, with key customers, to help us to drive the sustainability agenda. So not only do we help to design green net buildings and sustainable infrastructure, including public transport, but also we talk with a partnership now with the electric vehicle maker BYD, Build Your Dreams, and we share with them the ambition to drive down carbon emissions. So making transport more sustainable is a major driving force behind our innovation, and DIY will benefit from a host of digital tools and cutting-edge services, as well as our class-leading vehicle retention systems that we provide to them. Looking more at the construction industry is, as an industry leader committed to creating more green buildings, our product innovation can also in this area play a vital role in making cities and communities more sustainable. And let me give you one example. Climate change and global warming are impacting construction materials and heating up the walls of our buildings and homes, and increasingly so. And for many, the answer to this question is to turn on the air conditioning. But this requires, of course, significant amounts of energy, and I was stunned myself to hear that according to government figures, 34% of household power in Singapore is used for cooling interiors. Now, in an effort to find solutions, our global scientists, our coating scientists, have developed a weather shield, keep cool technology. They use special pigments that reflect infrared heat. So the heat that is being emitted by the sun on the surface doesn't really pass on to the interior, and it can keep the exterior walls cooler by up to 5%. So when applied to an exterior facade of a house building, the paint can help reflect the heat and in turn reduces the need to turn on the air conditioning. And that means that interiors are kept cooler, less energy is required. To reduce our collective carbon footprints, AkzoNobel is joining forces with our value chain partners in the field of circular solutions, process efficiency, solvent reduction. And the collaborative sustainability challenge is an example of AkzoNobel teaming up with a select group of partners, again, using suppliers, customers, to look at how we can identify roadblocks and come up with new approaches to accelerate collective reduction of carbon emissions and limit global warming. In the area of sustainability, circularity plays an increasingly more important role. How can we reduce waste, and how can we use more renewable sources? AkzoNobel addresses the upcoming resource challenge through our zero waste programs and our circular economy approach involves the entire value chain. So we offer customer solutions, help them improve their performance, the durability, and long-term protection of substrates with the objective to get more and better results with less resources. Now on this slide, for example, you see the Pulau Trăng lighthouse in Vietnam. This building was already built in 1890, and it's one of the three lighthouses we protect against very harsh weather with anti-fading, anti-UV, anti-alkaline, and waterproofing technologies, amongst others. Now, our product innovation makes it possible to offer longer lasting painting coatings for building interior and exteriors, which reduces the energy and resource consumption, as well as the need for repair, cleaning, and repainting. Basically, without paint, this building would have collapsed. Now, with the sustainable portfolio for circular solutions, they are an enabler to prevent products becoming waste and buildings to collapse. They enable furniture, transportation, and building materials to be reused and recycled and offer longer lasting performance and safeguard our heritage. Let me give you another example. We have an acrylic water-based paint specifically formulated with a combination of sealer and top coat properties as a two-coat system that's designed to deliver higher efficiency and productivity, while keeping the same superior performance and durability as the usual three-coat system. We call this product Dulux Professional Express, and it offers an increase in productivity by up to 30%, a clear illustration of circularity through resource saving and materials. And you can well imagine, if you also look here in Singapore, with all the high-rise buildings that you have, if you have to apply only 2 coats instead of 3 coats. Obviously, if you look at the painter who has to go up and down a building to paint the facade, how tiring and how resource intensive it is if he only has to go up for two boats. It's a much more productive solution and everybody wins. In Europe, AkzoNobel started the development of innovative technology used in new products that can take up to 35% post-consumer waste paint. So paint being, instead of being burned, which is an absolute nightmare, actually they reuse the old paint and make new paint out of it. Working with resource management partners, we reclaim, sort, filter, and refine leftover white paint and re-engineer them into new paint, which is then tested, of course, before we put it in a tin for a new product sale. But we're very excited about the launch of this new, very efficient Weather Shield Express. It's really now becoming quickly a standard here in Singapore in how we can do this. And obviously, a huge amount of testing goes behind it to make that happen. But what it basically boils down to is that this is a premium quality acrylic water-based system, not solvents, water-based, specially formulated as a two-coat system designed to deliver higher efficiency and productivity, while keeping again the same superior performance and meets the same standards that we have for traditional systems. This is an example of how innovation can be put to good use, driven by the commitment to the sustainability agenda. We basically integrate the sealer and top coat into one layer with the same properties. And of course, that drives efficiency. And that, of course, helps a lot to have also an economic incentive to change behavior with our partners in the value chain. We cannot underestimate the importance of taking that box as well. I already mentioned the productivity improvement on the job site, where painters otherwise have to go up and down a building so many more times in a conventional system. And the performance of the system is absolute compliance with the Singapore standards SS 579 and SS 345. Paint can do even more, also in the area of health and well-being. Our focus on health and well-being goes beyond supporting the development of green, healthy buildings per se, where people live and work. We can also help and safeguard health and well-being of our employees, our customers, end users and other stakeholders in the communities where we operate in. Now, we use this under the AkzoNobel umbrella. We run programs including Let's Color, the Tuco Foundation, as well as villages. Tomorrow, me and my colleagues go into the Assisi Hospice to help out there as well. We work with the Go Vap kindergarten in Vietnam, that's the image that you see here with the children there, where we help also by painting both the interior and exterior walls of the kindergarten, which was refreshed with Dulux paint. And actually, scientific research has shown that in doing so, actually can influence the moods, the minds, and the spirits of people. One of my dear friends here in Singapore, she's an interior designer, and actually she's very keen also now to see the advance in research and science to understand what's actually going on in your brain as you are in an environment that is conducive, that's joyful. Actually, things happen in your brain that makes you feel better. And I strongly believe in that, and that's something that you want to build upon. Other examples that we do is through the SOS Children's Village and the smaller projects to also help to lift up the lives of people. I'm very proud also of my Indian colleagues that are helping setting up businesses with women in India, of starting their own business through microeconomic loans that we support them. So we really can help turning stakeholders into business women that have their own businesses now we can start up with and be independent and develop their freedom by becoming a paints retailer. Looking more at the product side of health and well-being, now obviously we can help there by enhancing the functionality of our products. We can bring in health and well-being benefits to users of buildings, better indoor quality by reducing the substances of concern, even adding protection against several viruses and types of bacteria. And that's what we started to do. And so you can implement not just the liquid coatings, but also our colleagues in powder coatings, silver ion technology in the paint that have antibacterial properties. Now, obviously, this is very popular in hospitals and the like, but we bring it now also to the household environment. We harness the innovation in sustainable latex technology, whereby the monomer becomes from a bio-renewable source like plants, bamboo, and the like, instead of petroleum-derived components. This helps very strongly, of course, to move away from a dependency on our use of petroleum-derived components, and of course allows us to drive towards a lower carbon footprint while still performing similarly well, or better even, than traditional technologies. The end result is a product like Dulux Better Living Air. It's a clean bio-based product that actively actually removes and neutralizes harmful air pollutants such as formaldehyde, benzene, and other VOCs, volatile organic compounds, emitted by carpets and furniture and construction materials. So you can imagine that as you are living in your house, you put in your carpet with the glue, everything that is required, that actually the paint, with the help of sunlight, captures the formaldehyde in the air. The chemical reaction takes place, and actually water is an end result of that reaction. So actually you see some water drops on the wall that you can wipe up, of course it's a microscope that you need, but that basically transforms very pollutant components in the air and keeps your air. So that is something which never existed years ago, but that's the technology you now bring. And it not only contains this quality, but also antibacteria, anti-mold, anti-fungus properties to protect the interior walls and keep the air in your house safer. And obviously also during the course of the pandemic, there's increased awareness of consumers of keeping their living spaces more healthy at the same time, apart from being just beautiful and colorful. The safeguard in health and well-being of our stakeholders, we also now look at aero drones to provide innovative robotic maintenance solutions for the wind turbine market. And as you can well imagine, why are people now climbing up and down facades to paint a building? Why not use robots? That's also an area where we are looking into. Thanks to this maintenance robot, wind turbine operators are now able to not only paint but also inspect and maintain the performance of their wind turbine blades from the ground. That's safer than having technicians climbing up and down. So what we see is that it seems that in the business-to-business environment, this technology is being picked up faster. But we hope also that in the area of construction building industry, that we will see more the use of these technologies. And we are actively collaborating with innovative startups and the like to build these solutions. Thank you. That means with that, let me just close by saying one thing, ladies and gentlemen. For me, innovation starts in the brain. It starts up here. And how we then translate it also us in action, that is of course critical. Now, I'll try to give you an example here how also multinational companies like Bell, they've heeded the call. We're stepping up to the plate even more so. Actually, we'll be one of the first companies in this area to do so. And that is indeed gaining momentum. And the benefit of harnessing product innovation, it extends way more than the building interiors or exterior. We showed you our commitment, both as individuals, companies, and industries, that we can do more with less, and underlying our sustainable solutions can help world cities to cope with the current and future challenges. Thank you.